Story Stitch came out of the report of increase of hate crimes that the FBI released back in 2018. It's a conversational card game, but it's really to foster deeper conversation and generate a breakthrough in how immigrants are perceived, to how they're treated, to how they're accepted. So all the questions inside the box are still the same. There's 55 total cards. There's 33 cards with story prompts, and then there's 22 cards with stitch card, which has lines and dots. We're in the midst of translating our Story Stitch into multiple languages. Some of them include Arabic, Spanish, Hmong, Norwegian, and in German. So we decided to upgrade our Story Stitch box to a more sturdier box. So it's more, it's sturdier, it's harder. You can use it as much as you want to, and it won't break down on you. We can't be in person meeting each other to exchange stories, but we know how important it is to continue exchanging stories. So we have opened it up to a virtual Story Stitch. You can use the deck of cards on your own, but our experience has shown that the best results come when the circles are facilitated by trained facilitators to really get the best experience and to really sustain meaningful relationships and conversations. The first module is really the introduction, the background of Story Stitch. And then the second module, we talk about the whole critical 3 component to how Story Stitch really came about in its own philosophy. And the first philosophy and the critical component is that empathy. How do we carry empathy into storytelling? The second critical component is mindful listening. Is that some people continue to dominate in space or conversation? How do we hold space for those who are just eager to share their own personal stories? We have to be intentional how we are reacting to people's stories. And the third critical component is story exchange. Is that all of us each have a story to tell, but then how do we share that story? And how do we get that out? So then it's exchange. It's a way that you are heard, that you feel seen, and that people really recognize the story for what it is. Module 4 is talking about how to facilitate the game itself when you are in the circle and what your role is as a facilitator and how do you manage the time. How do you as a facilitator step in when there are moments that can be triggering? And at the end, just making sure that there's always a reflection about the whole experience. So then we get to hear from one another about the challenges, but also the opportunity from each other. We teach you the ins and outs of how to facilitate, how to set it up, how to bring diverse community together with clear ground rules and instructions of how to play the game and how to facilitate a circle. We are offering monthly virtual Story Stitch to the public. We are also giving out limited scholarship for those who just don't have in this moment, don't have the income and the source. So we're also giving free Story Stitch training to those who identify as Black, Indigenous, and people of color. For more information about how to sign up and register for the facilitator training, you can email us at info@greencardvoices.org.